So, what if your web browser wasn't just a window to the internet, but was actually an active partner in your work? That's the future Dr. Vernette Grant is laying out in her latest analysis. Today, we're going to dive right into her breakdown of 3 AI browsers that are poised to completely change the game in 2025: Google's Gemini, Perplexity's Comet, and OpenAI's Atlas. You know, this quote from Dr. Grant's analysis really gets to the heart of it all. This is not about some new feature or a slightly faster loading time. What we're looking at here are 3 fundamentally different blueprints for the future of how we interact with the web. It's not just a tech race, it's a full-on showdown of philosophies. Okay, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of each one, let's just pull back for a second and get the big picture. Dr. Grant starts by asking a really crucial question. What is the fundamental vision behind each of these browsers? What's the core problem they're actually trying to solve? This table from her work just lays it out so clearly. You can see the strategic split right away. Google is playing the long game with Gemini, right? They want deep, seamless integration across everything Google. Perplexity's Comet? They're taking a totally different route, wanting to be your conversational buddy for research. And OpenAI? Well, they're sticking to what they know best with Atlas, embedding the power of ChatGPT right where you already work. These aren't just different features. They are fundamentally different bets on how we're all going to be using the web. First up, the titan in the room, Google Gemini. According to Dr. Grant's analysis, you can't even think of this as just a browser. No, this is a full-blown AI ecosystem. Think of it more like a digital powerhouse that's been built for the most demanding creative and analytical work out there. This little equation from the analysis really sums it up perfectly. When Dr. Grant talks about full-stack AI, what she means is an environment where every single layer, from the data processing all the way up to the user interface, is powered by Google's AI. Then you combine that with some seriously advanced media creation tools, and what you've got is a platform that's aiming to be the one-stop shop for serious creators and thinkers. And here is where all that power gets really concrete. Dr. Grant highlights features like DeepThink, which is an engine for tackling problems that require some really sophisticated multi-step reasoning. And then there's Veo 3, which is aimed at generating professional-grade video content with AI. It's pretty obvious who Google is targeting here. We're talking enterprise clients, academics, and creative studios. Basically anyone who needs some serious computational firepower. Okay, so if Gemini is the industrial powerhouse, then Perplexity's Comet is like the nimble conversational partner. Dr. Grant's analysis shows how Comet just completely flips the script. It's not about giving you more tools to command, it's about creating an actual dialogue with the web itself. This is the core idea that's driving everything with Comet. Imagine this. Instead of just reading a web page, you could have a conversation with it. You could ask it to summarize the key points, go find related articles, or explain a really complex term. Dr. Grant describes it as turning the web from a static library into a research assistant that you can actually talk to. So, how does it all work? Well, according to the analysis, Comet acts as your co-pilot, handling things like summaries, searches, and even taking actions for you. And this is crucial. It performs tasks asynchronously. That just means it can work on a complex search in the background while you continue reading or browsing. It's not going to interrupt your flow. Add in support for multiple language models, and you've got a tool that's really built to amplify your own research process, not replace it. And that brings us to our final contender, OpenAI's Atlas. Dr. Grant frames it perfectly. If Gemini is the powerhouse and Comet is the co-pilot, then Atlas is the hyper-efficient productivity machine. Its mission is actually pretty simple. Inject all the power of ChatGPT into every single corner of your browser. Dr. Grant's analysis boils Atlas down to this simple equation. And the genius here is its familiarity. I mean, millions of us already use ChatGPT, right? So by embedding it directly into the browser, OpenAI is betting on a totally frictionless path to boosting our productivity through web automation. The features that are highlighted in the analysis are all about one thing: saving you time. Agent mode, for example, can automate the soul-crushing task of filling out the same repetitive forms over and over again. You can ask questions about this specific page you're on, or get an instant summary of a super long article with a single click. Every single feature is just laser-focused on eliminating friction from your daily web tasks. So we've met the powerhouse, the co-pilot, and the productivity agent. And Dr. Grant's analysis makes it really clear that these are all incredibly impressive tools. But that leads to the most important question of all. Which one is right for you and the work that you do every single day? This table from the analysis provides such a fantastic way to think about this. It shifts the question from which browser is the best to what job do I need to get done? If your work involves complex reasoning and media creation, Gemini is your tool. For deep research and juggling tons of sources, Comet is the answer. And for just boosting your everyday efficiency, Atlas is the clear choice. Let's make this even more real with a few scenarios. So let's say you're a creative professional trying to build a comprehensive business plan from scratch. You'd need to do market analysis, you'd have to run financial projections, maybe even storyboard a promotional video. As Dr. Grant points out, this is exactly where Gemini, with its all-in-one creative and analytical suite, becomes the obvious powerhouse choice. Now, let's switch gears completely. Imagine you're a researcher. Deep in a project, you've got dozens of tabs open, right? You're trying to synthesize all this complex information from a ton of different sources. In that exact scenario, as the analysis suggests, Comet acts as the perfect multitasking co-pilot. It's summarizing, it's fetching, it's organizing, freeing you up to do the actual thinking. And what about the daily grind that so many of us face? You know, preparing documents, summarizing meeting notes, filling out those endless online forms. This is where Dr. Grant positions Atlas as your go-to automation engine. It's not about these massive, complex projects. It's about reclaiming hours of your week through smart, targeted automation. Ultimately, Dr. Grant's analysis lands on this really powerful conclusion. The browser wars aren't about finding a single winner. We're moving past this idea of one tool for everyone. The future is an ecosystem of specialized AI partners, and our job is simply to pick the right one for the task at hand. And that leaves us with a truly profound shift to think about. For decades, our browser has been a passive window. Now it's becoming an active partner. It's no longer just a tool, it's a co-pilot. So the final question that Dr. Grant's analysis leaves us with is this. With this new power at your fingertips, where will you go next?